Good morning, gamers. I'm Good Morning Gamer, and today is a bit of an indulgence on my part, but I hope you'll bear with me because the Nintendo GameCube was one of only two consoles I had growing up, the other being the N64, and I still use this baby all the time. Look at that. GameCube. It's got a freaking handle. So, without any further ado, I present to you my top 10 GameCube games. So you'd played your way through Ocarina of Time, then Majora's Mask, waited 2 long years for another console Zelda game, when you hear that if you pre-order Wind Waker, you'll get a limited edition of Ocarina of Time and Master Quest for the GameCube. Master Quest! Doesn't it just sound legendary? In Japan it was called Yura Zelda, literally another Zelda, and was made to satisfy the cravings for a more difficult version of Ocarina. Oh, did I mention this game's hard as balls? As soon as you pop in the disc, you choose between the 2 games. I mean, you kinda have to pick Master Quest, right? I mean, don't be a little bitch. Sorry. The game is immediately nostalgic. Kokiri Forest is as lush and crisp-ish as ever, with sweet new 480p graphics. Things are pretty much the same as Ocarina of Time, but the dungeons are riddled with more sneaky and difficult bosses, and the difficulty level rises much faster than in the original. If you're craving a nostalgic ride with some pretty neat new improvements, buy a 3DS and get Ocarina of Time 3D. But Master Quest is another cool option. Sometimes you just need to go golfing. From your couch, of course. Mario Golf is a great game to play with your friends or by yourself. There are mini-games galore and of course tournaments. I think I like this game so much for the same reason I like real golf. Just the scenery and the challenge of moving a tiny ball a huge distance to a tiny goal. There isn't much to say here, but this game stands out as one of my favorites. But just like real golf, you can't take yourself too seriously. Whoa, geez, Waluigi, it's just golf. Resident Evil. This game is not for everyone, but I have to insist, you should have this game in your collection. It takes balls to put this game into the cube. But once you've committed, the story and gameplay keep you hooked. This is pretty much like Luigis Mansion on crack. No, on heroin. No, bath salts. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Not a good high. You spend most of the game in a creepy-ass mansion that's plagued by the dead. But unlike Luigi's Mansion, this one will actually keep you up at night. As soon as you click New Game, Resident Evil, you know it's no joke. The story is pretty riveting, but really this game is just a gratifier for when you get that hankering for some creepy stuff. And this is a great option if you're in that sort of dark mood. The lighting around the house, and of course the zombies, are creepy as hell. But to make it all worse, the controls are not very intuitive. Just walking around a room takes some getting used to by today's 3D gaming standards. So if you didn't think the GameCube had any hardcore horror games to offer, think again. Resident Evil is a sure way to scare your socks off.
It's pants!
Whatever, it's scary. Wind Waker. Back in 2002, it was a totally different approach to Zelda, both in the gameplay and especially the art style. I've had friends tell me they couldn't get used to an anime version of Link, but this game genuinely blew my mind. The ocean was so expansive, and the weather would change as you sailed across it, and your little boatman could jump. And there was never a loading screen when you approached a new island. It made the whole game feel very unified. No breaks in the adventure, just a smooth ride all around. Apart from the Great Sea, the dungeons are also unique, and the items are special. You've got your standard weapons and defense, but you also have items like the Deku Leaf, which can serve more than one purpose. You can use it to waft away enemies, or you can use it to float from one place to another. Just make sure the wind is in your favor. Wind Waker is pretty lighthearted and cheery, kind of the opposite of Twilight Princess, but I liked it a lot, and I like the HD version even more. So play this game if you haven't. Don't let the naysayers convince you otherwise. Give it a shot for yourself. Baton Kaidos, or Baton Baton. This game was not your standard RPG. The combat is totally unique. Instead of equipping items before battle, you enter battle with a set of Magnus cards, with which you can temporarily equip items and use attacks. You gather these cards throughout your journey and thus gain strength in battle. The story is also immediately interesting and pulls you along through the entire adventure. It's strange too because you're sort of playing God. You don't control yourself, so to speak, but rather you control Sagi, who occasionally faces the screen to ask your opinion.
Are you hurt?
You apparently live in Sagi's heart, and so he's the only one who can hear you speak. Okay, Saj, you might be a little crazy. Anyway, I also really like the voice acting. It's pretty well done, so I'd always let it play through. And this would make the scenes feel more meaningful.
That always makes me feel better.
The scenery is often unexpectedly beautiful, and some of the people you meet are instantly lovable.
Hello. I'll be buying whatever you're selling.
It didn't sell very well at all, only about 60,000 copies in the US, but I think Baton Kaidos is a treasure franchise worthy of a revival. When I was a kid, I always wished I could be super tiny like a bug and explore the grass as it towered over me. Shit, I still want that. Well, Pikmin is a great way to get this feeling. You crash land on a planet much like Earth as Captain Olimar, a tiny little Martian man who must rebuild his wrecked spaceship to get back home. It's a simple premise, but the game is somehow immediately unique. You soon discover that you're not alone on this planet, and that you can easily oppress hundreds of Pikmin to handle all the hard work. You want to pick up that flower thing? Throw some Pikmin at it. Want to build a bridge? Throw some Pikmin at it. What? 17 of them drowned in the water because you panicked and forgot how to make them come back? Oh no. They were so good to me. No problem. Just grow some more. The sense of time here is another neat thing. You have to return to your spaceship before nightfall or you'll die. I don't really love this sense of urgency because it sort of puts me on edge. And if any of your little buddies don't make it back before dark, dead. Leave it. It's dead. But I do like that you get to enjoy the rich, warm mornings, the interesting landscapes, and there's definitely a huge satisfaction in bringing back a new piece of your spaceship. I really liked Pikmin. You get to be that tiny bug in a giant world. Thanks again, Miyamoto. God damn, you do it right. Luigi's Mansion, the ultimate Luigi-based title on GameCube. Ghosts lurk in every nook and cranny. Shoot fire, water, and ice from your vacuum. Vacuum? Hell yeah, vacuum. Sign me up for a fire-shooting vacuum. So you're Luigi this time, and your goal is to save... fucking Mario. Gotta save Mario so we can be in 10 more games this year. Whatever, Luigi's not bitter about it. I mean, he just won a mansion. Full of ghosts. I love games that bring you on an adventure. And this one didn't really do that, but it had a ton of atmosphere. Even as a kid, I was totally engrossed by this game. It wasn't too difficult, so you weren't interrupted too often by death. Instead, you were allowed to just keep going. This made the game feel more fulfilling and avoided breaking the immersion with things like, game over, you suck. There were some pretty neat new tools, lots of rooms and areas to tiptoe through, and a general sense of spooky, something that the Mario franchise was certainly lacking. What it all comes down to, though, is that this game is fun. It's so fun to suck up these ghosts. The excitement when you discover a new type of ghost, the way Luigi sways about the room when he's vacuuming them up, and the little suction-y noise it makes when you finish one off. It just feels right. If you haven't played this game, definitely make your way through this haunted mansion right after you play the following 3 games. How could this not be on the list? Super Smash Bros. Melee is the top-selling title for the GameCube, at over 7 million units sold, and it still sells at a premium price on the secondary market. Now let's talk about why. The original Smash Bros. For the N64 was an amazing multiplayer experience. Melee came along with 26 playable characters. That's 14 more than the N64 had. The franchise coverage now included Fire Emblem, Game & Watch, and Ice Climber. They also expanded on the existing franchises with characters like Bowser, Mewtwo, and Ganondorf. They basically made a great thing a lot better. The game is all about multiplayer melee mode. I guess I should mention that I'm not terribly good at melee. I kind of have a problem with over-dodging. But some people study this game to compete professionally on a global level. The responsiveness is so crisp, and the GameCube controller was so perfectly designed that people still prefer to use it for the newer iterations. But if you're terrible like I am, there's always Adventure Mode, where you can pick your difficulty level and pretend you're good. I don't think I need to explain much more because I'm pretty sure you all agree with me. Melee is a solid option for a Friday night with some friends. A truly timeless treasure. Okay, I'm pretty sure I clocked the most hours on this game out of any GameCube game. It got to the point where my sister and I were so nasty at this game that we just fabricated our own games. We would try to make each other laugh by ripping around a corner and dying in hysterical fashion. Anyway, this game was properly addicting. It was the first and only iteration of Mario Kart where you could play with two characters in one kart, each of which could hold an item. This offered a ton of room for strategizing and a new type of multiplayer karting. Some of the levels were especially memorable, like a totally epic new version of Rainbow Road and Donkey Kong's Kick-Ass Mountain. This was a new racing experience with all the favorite characters, and then some. Unlike the more recent kart games, this game was completely unforgiving to the unskilled player, which I have clearly become. Only a worthy adversary could stand a chance against you. Mario Kart Double Dash will always cling to my memory as a sweet and hilarious collection of times. Now, since this list was not easy to compile, let's go through some titles that almost made it. Pokemon Colosseum, a strategy-based battle game to satisfy bloodthirsty Pokemon trainers far and wide. Beyond Good and Evil. This game is sort of a hidden gem, but it just didn't stand out to me as a true favorite. Metroid Prime, a revolutionary game with all sorts of special game mechanics and a surprise sexy lady protagonist hiding in that badass suit. Mario Party 4, 6, 5? Wait, 7? And Animal Crossing, a very unstressful alternative style of gaming. Make friends, find a fossil, organize a house. Woo! And now for number 1, Super Mario Sunshine. Just saying it brings me joy. I play through this game about once a year, and it is always a delightful experience. I love the switch from a running and jumping Mario to a Mario that can hover and shoot water. It was a completely different gameplay style, and the worlds are built beautifully to complement this new ability. Flood is an amazing companion throughout your journey. I admire that the developers weren't afraid to break the boundaries, even within a game franchise that has such deep heritage. The physics of the jetpack even seem to be accurate when you're turning midair, though I don't have my own jetpack yet. To add to all the tight controls, the world around you feels so strangely real for a Mario game. The waters are crystal clear blue, the landscapes are ripe with secrets, and progressing is as challenging as ever. The only complaint I had was, sweet, a blue coin. I get 5 coins for that, baby. What? Did I freeze the cube? Why is this shit stopping? So you collect blue coins in this game, 240 of them to be exact, and then exchange them for shines in this little hut. Apparently this little asshole here is stashing shines and selling them for profit. But no, all the townsfolk are mad at Mario for something he didn't do. But back to the positive stuff. One of my favorite worlds in this game is Pianta Village. You enter the region and are immediately pushed to explore the place. You see some mushrooms down below. I'll check those out later. you see some giant palm tree looking things that appear climbable, and it turns out they are. It kind of goes back to the Pikmin sensation of being a tiny creature in a larger than life world. And you know, there's actually a place in this game that captures that feeling even better. Oh, don't mind Jacob. He's just being weird. Okay, actually, he's on fire. You see, this game is so diverse and perfectly put together that I genuinely crave playing it whenever it's been too long. And you know what? I'm gonna go play me some Mario Sunshine right goddamn now. Thanks for taking the time to watch my top 10 GameCube games. I would be very grateful if you'd share this video with anyone you know that likes the GameCube. Want to see more of my stuff? Check out one of these recent videos, and subscribe to Good Morning Gamer now so you don't miss the future ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye. You know what they say, give a man a pickle, he has a pickle for one day, just one day though. But if you give a man a seed to a cucumber, and then some soil, and a little background on agriculture, that dude can grow pickles every summer. What were we talking about? Close it up, press the button. What, it's not wireless? And this one, and all these. This light is too bright. I can't work in these conditions. It's not really a cube though, is it? Because, I mean, I get what they meant. When's my lunch? I want pickles. For some reason, I'm in the mood for pickles.